The 1:13 a.m. train from Manhattan rumbled into the underground tunnel like any other. Tired eyes. Half-empty cars. The smell of stale coffee and mechanical dust. A half-dozen passengers sat in scattered silence. A man in a wrinkled suit snored softly. A teenage girl scrolled through her phone with wired-in earbuds. An elderly couple clutched matching overnight bags. A street artist with spray paint-stained fingers tapped his knee anxiously. And a woman in a gray hoodie stared at the floor. And moving. The train slowed as it approached 59th Street. Then it braked. Then, it didn't stop. The car shook slightly. The lights flickered. And instead of slowing into the station, the train picked up speed. Next stop, the intercom crackled. Then went silent. The girl with earbuds pulled one out and frowned. Did we pass the station? The suited man stirred. The old couple exchanged worried glances. The woman in the hoodie didn't look up. 10 minutes passed. No announcement. No stop. The artist stood and walked toward the door. Peering out into the tunnel. His breath fogged the glass. He rubbed it with his sleeve and froze. There were no walls. Just blackness. Endless black. Panic began quietly. Someone hit the emergency intercom. Nothing. A few banged on the doors. The train kept moving silent. Steady. Unstoppable. One of the fluorescents above began to hum louder and blink. The girl's phone had no signal. The elderly woman tried to call out, but her voice broke into a whisper. The suited man muttered, "I take this train every night. This isn't right." Then the train jolted. Lights out. Total darkness. For 6 full seconds. No one moved. Then the lights flicked back on. One seat was empty. The street artist was gone. No sound. No door opened. Just gone. The woman in the hoodie finally spoke. Her voice low. Brittle. "This isn't a malfunction," she said. "It's the route." Everyone turned. "What the hell are you talking about?" The teenager snapped. "I've seen this before." The hooded woman whispered. "There's no end. Just the train. And it doesn't like when we notice." They split up. It wasn't smart. But panic makes people irrational. The suited man and the teenager moved toward the front of the train. The old couple stayed seated, praying quietly. The woman in the hoodie stood and moved toward the back, muttering something about counting cars. Each car they passed looked the same flickering lights. Same hum. But something was off. The ads lining the walls were no longer in English. The seats changed color. Dust began to coat everything. Like the train hadn't been used in decades. "Why is this one empty?" the teenager asked. Stepping into the next car. It was completely void of seats. Just long metal flooring and walls. The suited man stepped in behind her and the door slammed shut between them and the car they came from. They spun around. The door had vanished. What the hell? Then a sound. A scraping. From the ceiling. They looked up. Something was moving in the vents. Back near the rear of the train. The hooded woman opened a panel by the floor. Beneath it were markings etched into metal. Old symbols. Repeating shapes. Her hand trembled. She whispered, "It's older than the train. It's always been here." The scraping intensified. It wasn't just one thing. It was many. Crawling. Dragging. Brushing against metal. The suited man grabbed the teenager's arm and pulled her backward. "Run," he whispered. Though there was nowhere to run. The car stretched too far. Too empty. The lights flickered again and this time stayed off for longer. In the pitch black. Something dropped from the ceiling. A wet slap. Then the sound of movement. Something fast. Many legs. The lights blinked on. The man was alone. He screamed and pounded on the far door, yelling the girl's name. No reply. No body. Just a trail of dark liquid smeared across the floor and disappearing beneath a seam in the wall. The hooded woman reached the very last car, where the conductor's booth should have been. But there was no booth, only a hatch in the wall. She opened it. Inside was a rolled parchment tree and brittle. An old map. She unrolled it slowly. It was not a subway route. It was a spiral, twisting in on itself, forming an impossible loop. Each station had a name scratched in ancient lettering, and all of them were crossed out except the center. At the center was a symbol, the same one etched into the metal panel below. Behind her, the train shuddered. She turned just as the rear door split open and something long, thin, and whispering slithered in from the dark. The old man stood. His wife grabbed his hand tightly, but he shook her off. "It's time," he said softly. He walked forward, step by step, toward the middle of the train. As he passed each car, the lights above him dimmed and buzzed. He didn't flinch. In the center car, he paused. He knelt and began to hum. The train slowed. The walls around him pulsed breathing. For a moment, it wasn't metal at all. It was bone, muscle, veins. He pressed his palm against the wall and whispered a name no one else could hear. Then he vanished. The train sped up again. The hooded woman crawled backward, away from the slithering form behind her. It spoke without words. Her eyes bled tears she couldn't stop. Then the train screeched at its first sign of braking since it began. Out the window, she saw it, a station. Circular, flickering, walls lined with symbols. Hundreds of people, or shadows of people, standing perfectly still on the platform. The doors opened with a hiss. She didn't move. The suited man stumbled into the car, face pale, trembling. He saw the map still clutched in her hand. "Is this the end?" he whispered. She shook her head. "No, it's the center." Then they heard the announcement. "Next stop, all of them." The lights went out, and the doors closed.